Okay. All right. I think we're good. No. Okay. Just gonna wait for Abby to invite me to the thing. Sorry for the late arrival. Thanks, Joe. Just gonna wait for Bobby to get in here also, and then we'll take some last minute questions here. Yeah, I just did game theory. I'm just waiting on him to. Um, I'm just waiting on him to fire that up to me. Thanks. So I mean, I'm basically pretty much all set. I did want to bounce a couple of kind of new ideas that I just kind of dreamed up off of Bobby. Make sure I have full authority to go a little bit off the board here. I ended up on FanDuel going locking in what's his face, CJ McCollum. That's just kind of the way it worked out for me. And on DraftKings, I was pretty true to what I said I was going to do during the whatever. Oh, so you saying is Frankie Nicolina a viable alternative to the Simons chalk? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, he's viable in as much as he's a uh, same price. But I first of all, I just don't think he's as good, and second of all, I don't think his minutes are. I guess are at, oh, I got the invite here. Are exactly as secure. Um, let's get Bobby in here. Okay. And then join creator audio. Boom.
Sorry about that. How's it going?
It's good. I don't see your face though.
Yeah, I have my screen shut because I'm trying to
Oh
fix
no,
a
but
bunch.
no, that's fine. I don't even see your thing. Oh, okay. So it's just your voice. Okay.
Do you have your screen up at all?
Yeah.
Let me log. I'm trying to get over there right now.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen on the
Here we go.
on the left. There it is. Awesome.
So let's see.
So the first question that I'm dealing with here is, first of all, somebody's asking me, is Frankie N a viable alternative to Simon's chalk? And for me, I just, I mean, in as much as they're a similar price, sure. I'm not doing it. Maybe are you playing any Frankie N or no?
A little bit, but not very much.
Yeah. So there's one guy that I played some on DraftKings because he fit the price, and I was looking him up, and he was hurt for a little while, and now he's back ready to play. And assuming he's all ready to go, I have some Michael Porter Jr. tonight.
Okay, I don't have any interest in that
Okay.
because of Barton I'm playing.
Okay.
I think Nas Reed is the big news we need to talk about. Like,
Yeah. Let's talk about that because they did announce that he was going to be starting, and so that I would say would increase. I haven't checked to see yet, but I would imagine
how,
it would increase projection from like 20 to 24 minutes, maybe.
It doesn't even matter. It's just I liked him anyway as a play. I'm using Johnson as a pivot actually, um, because I had so much Nas Reed with Johnson as the starter at what I thought was going to be no ownership. Now I think you're probably going to be looking at 20 is on DraftKings and maybe higher on FanDuel, and I think it was going to be like 5%. So I'm a little frustrated about that because I thought I was sneaking away with it. Now it also could work out dangerously if he's a handsy guy. He can get fouled. I don't know. It worries me a little bit more. I also think Beasley and everybody for the Minnesota starters becomes a better play because James Johnson can be high usage in that role. I also have gotten on to Kevin Love and Bradley Beal pairings, along with some Sexton and Garland. I just wanted to throw that out there, and then we can talk about whatever.
Yeah, I'll also like to tell you that I want to show you. Um, I actually went into the 222 tonight
Okay.
for the second time, and as a matter of fact, I'm right there with this Beal thing. I have Beal and I have Sexton and Kevin Porter Jr. from Cleveland, as opposed to the Love and the.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game with the Porter Jr. thing, even though it's a possible upside one. It's hard for me with guys like Hernan Gomez out there to pick him over Hernan Gomez.
Yeah, I thought about that.
So that's where I'm at. And I'm playing a 21-20, and I'm so just it's sort of a similar type of thing. But this is you have to beat 70 people. And I'm sort of going through what looks to be a pretty chalky lineup. The one guy I don't think people are going to play as much of that I have in that lineup, I think Luka is going to be under-owned given the nature of the slate. And I think that Ingram is going to be under-owned for what he should be at this price. Those are just my hot takes there.
Yeah, I'm leaving some myself some flexibility in this Portland game. Like I'm gonna have like three guys in the Portland game to start off with. I'm gonna have Carmelo, C.J. McCollum, and Trent to start off with, and nobody from New Orleans. But that obviously can be changed many times between now and and when it goes off. Like I could certainly go back to Simons if I feel like it. If I think Trent's a little bit too crazy, and I could certainly go to Ingram.
I like Trent. I like the Trent play. I like that he's small forward eligible. What I would say is if you're playing Trent on DraftKings, you need to be using him at small forward because somehow he snuck into a few of my guard spots, and there's just too many other guards I'd rather take shots on, and that's partly what makes him valuable. That he's got over, Simons.
Yeah. I'm also finding myself with I'm with quite a bit of DeRozan. I'm really just kind of into that game, and it's just kind of the way it is on DraftKings.
I like that you are. I think it's a good call. It's not one I did get into DeRozan. I do actually get DeRozan. I think about 18%.
Okay.
Not like crazy or anything, but
Right.
the guy I don't have as much of as I wanted was Marcus Smart and Ricky Rubio. Those are my two big fears.
Yeah, dude. I went pretty heavy on the Rubio on FanDuel actually. Um, I really started to pivot a little bit in the point guard. I have like 50% or 60% Rubio on FanDuel. I pivoted a little bit. I played a little some Booker at shooting guard and some Rubio, and I was those are kind of my ways to be a little bit different. And I got a little bit wimpy at center. I played mostly Whiteside on FanDuel over at center over there. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame you. I have three big lineups on FanDuel, and I have Whiteside as the center in two of them. At one point a minute ago, Jokic was the center in two of them, but I just switched it up.
wow, that's pretty ballsy.
I think it's such the right move, like from a game theory thing, but I like the rest of my lineups with the Whiteside thing to where I can pivot down to Gobert because I think that you can make an argument there, but I don't think I need to get creative in those particular lineups, so I'm not trying to find myself a way to.
And the other place I went pretty heavy for pivot and leverage on FanDuel is I did not that you kind of like led me to this a little bit, but I played a decent amount of Randall, um, a Julius Randall over on FanDuel. I mean,
Yeah, I like the variants and the builds on FanDuel you can get. So like in some of my big ones, and one of my big ones, I've got a Randall combination with Sabonis.
yeah,
One of my big ones, I've got Kevin Love and Naz Reid. You know, you can get creative with it. And then my other big one, which while we're talking, I'm just gonna take a look at it. I've got Zion and Naz Reid. I really like Naz Reid. I'm a little bit almost disappointed this starting is going to turn him into something that I didn't think was going to happen. Because I really felt like he was the pivot value. Remember, I said it on our show earlier, and I was thinking he was coming off the bench, you know. And now you're going to get a flock of people to him, and for good reason. But maybe they won't flock to him quite as much as they should on DraftKings.
yeah,
Those are just my initial things with him.
yeah. Maybe is
Harder to play harder to play Ariza than it was for me earlier, because of Naz Reid starting. Like I could see fading James Johnson easier as a starter than I could Jake. I actually like James Johnson better off the bench, oddly enough. So now I'm trying to find ways to get James Johnson and Naz Reid split basically in each of my lineups, almost most of my lineups.
Yeah. So Naz Reid, when we were talking before, you were really into him on specifically on FanDuel. Are you equally not equally, but are you playing him on
Well, I like
DraftKings a
that
little
he's
bit
going to
too?
be lower owned on DraftKings now, so I'm sort of switching over. He's going to be I think he's going to be more popular on FanDuel actually, which I think FanDuel you can just go with the easy. Hey, let me try and take a shot at 100 with Randall and Zion, or Randall and Sabonis, or Sabonis and Zion, or Sabonis and Randall. Any of those combinations, go for your 100. I think that's a good way to go. I think that it's going to be under owned, but I still have Naz Reid in two of my three big ones. I don't know if the ownership is going to get. I don't want to say as high as it should, but I think there's a 40. If he gets 40, it's going to be hard to overcome that one. You're going to want him on FanDuel, obviously. But I have him in my 21-20 currently on DraftKings in the interest of total honesty or whatever.
What is Kevin Love's price? He's
75
75,
on DraftKings, 7,000 on FanDuel.
and
And
he's only power forward eligible.
but on FanDuel, like I don't think he's going to get played. Like and don't get me wrong, Zion, Sabonis, and Randall are all really good plays. But if I'm going to play a lineup with what's his name with Beal, I want to run it back with Love and Sexton or Love and Garland.
And what price is Anthony Simons? He is 3,500. So what I just did, I think this has got to make sense. So what I just did in this big one is I swapped out Sexton and Porter Jr. and Porter from Cleveland for Love and Simons. I think that's
Yeah,
probably the way to do it.
I like that a little bit better.
Except this has four Blazers right now.
Yeah, that's not something I'd be looking to try and do.
No.
And you don't have any from. Oh yeah, you can't do four Blazers no run back. I don't think.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I'm finding the Minnesota Boston game where I have most of my ownership right
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that.
now. You have easy pivots off some Blazers, like an easy pivot off of Carmelo to me is Will Barton.
That's interesting.
I really like Will Barton at 5,300. It's just way too cheap, and at no ownership. Like, dude, I mean, he's gonna outscore Carmelo like half the time here. He's gonna have like 1/10 the ownership.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me also about fading these Blazers is they're also in kind of must-win territory too. I mean,
Yeah, of course. But
these
like,
guys
who's that team plays? You know
these
what I
guys
mean?
could all play 40 minutes. Like
I mean, you could say that though, pretty much about everybody. Like
I suppose.
tonight, but I understand your point. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a weird. I get it. It's just weird. It's a weird situation. Let me see. Trent. I want to play Luka. Trent. I'm just trying to make sure I have Trent in the right spots right now. Is currently what I'm going through. And I really think you want to get exposed. I hate that Jaylen Brown is not small forward eligible. Otherwise, he might be like my favorite player.
Oh, really?
But the lack of small forward eligibility just crushes me. I mean, there's just a lot of guards. Even Luka not being small forward eligible is just a crusher. And there's some good forwards, but I don't feel as good about. I think there's a bust path for Carmelo, even though I like him, sure, too. You know what I mean? It doesn't. There's definitely a path there where he busts.
Yeah.
This game could get. It's just gonna be weird. We'll see, and then it's gonna be.
Well, I heard an interesting take that because of how popular they're all going to be, that that it's either a stack or a fade type of thing. In other words, like the entire Blazer offense has, what do they call it, systematic risk. You know what I mean? Because remember, with Lillard out, I mean it's rough business. You know what I mean? So it's possible the whole offense kind of busts. So to kind of like go half ass about it and only play one or two of them throughout your lineups might not be, considering how owned they're going to be. Maybe that's not the way to do it. I couldn't quite process exactly what was.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that way of thinking in general. For the most part, I understand it. I just if there was a ton of guys who could create and stuff, like they're really like even with Minnesota, it's volatile enough, but like the prices are a little bit better, and I actually think that's like they're going to have like the ownership's going to be a little bit more right in that game. So I'm sort of finding myself a little more drawn to that. And the reason I like the Portland side of things is partly because I can play the low-owned other side, running it right back, and that's a big part of what's appealing to me about that situation.
Did you end up playing any of the Celtic centers?
A little bit of Tice, a little bit of Cantor, but not all that much.
Yeah, I'd like 10% of each of them, I think.
I like both of them a little better with Reed starting, especially Tice. But I also think the foul trouble is higher for Tice, not for so much for Cantor. I don't really worry because he's off the bench anyway. But it's hard to play them over Reed or Johnson to me. I like Naz Reid. I'm on board with this guy. I made this pretty clear to a lot of people, and somehow it keeps spitting out everything. Somehow LaMarcus Aldridge keeps spitting out in way more lineups of mine than I wanted.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of. I got like a third of my builds are trying to geared around that game. So in some I have like 2x2, some I have 2x1, some I have 1x1 or whatever it is. So, and the only guys I have from San Antonio are LMA and DeRozan. So he's certainly showing up in a decent amount of it. I'm just kind of really into this Ingles price also, just across the board on both sides too.
Yeah, I threw him into one of my big ones on FanDuel. I'm having a little trouble on DraftKings. It's like I really like Hernan Gomez. I like these other guys. I can see the argument, and what I might do is maybe get him in for a little bit of my Naz Reid action. I think I might see how a little bit the early games go for some of my lineups because I do have some action in those.
Okay, so I want to address this the game theories comment here, saying Naz Reid is foul prone. Dude can't keep hands to himself. I mean,
totally true.
I don't care if he's
4,500. Yeah, we're gonna hopefully if I play a guy at 4,500, I don't want to say I hope he fouls out, but if he fouls out, that's good.
I mean, if I'm playing like Jaren Jackson Jr. off of a 32-minute projection, right? Then I'm worried. But if I'm playing
6.5K, yeah,
right. If I'm playing Naz Reid off of a 4,500 projection, I'm not as worried about it. As a matter of fact, you know what I could do? Boy, this would be pretty badass. So since I have C.J. McCollum, boy oh boy, I can't quite do it. I could just swap out Kevin Porter Jr. for Naz Reid.
Yeah, I mean, I have more Naz Reid than I do Kevin Porter Jr., but
yeah,
I don't dislike the Kevin Porter Jr. as a like.
No, I got you. No, I got you. So I got Sexton and Porter with Beal run back. I just love that.
Yeah, I actually think I have more ownership on Will Barton than I do on Carmelo on DraftKings.
That's awesome.
I just think it makes a lot of sense to me. Like if you get that pivot and the speed of the game, like I mean, look, Carmelo's a million years old. You know what I mean? Like these high-paced games, like the guys who crush don't just crush. Not everybody crushes in fast-paced environments. It's a boost for most players, but not for everybody.
Right.
And I found Simons becoming sort of like an auto plug and play. Part of my problem with fading Simons tonight has been just that I've been a believer in him forever. And I've heard word about him. I know how good he is. I think in this type of environment, given the minutes that we expect, I just don't really see how he fails. But then he could just play horrible. They could be down a bunch. Somebody else could come off the bench. Like there's ways that could happen, but I just don't like. I don't think you're making money making those kind of decisions, in my opinion. Why do I have so much? Why does my thing keep wanting me to have LaMarcus Aldridge everywhere? The weirdest thing.
Really?
I don't know why. He keeps popping up in every like optimal. And I actually like DeRozan, not him. All right, that's the last one. We're at lock. So what do you think? Who do we have in the first game locked? What do you think some of the ownerships are going to be?
Let's find out. What I'd like to know is if I was able to get that last switch in. Hold on, let me see. I did not. No, I did not get it in. I was going. So now I can whine. The thing I just got shut out of. I was gonna for Nas Reed for basically for was it Kevin Porter Jr. something like that. But that's all right. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Nas Reed hasn't started yet.
No, but all the Washington guys locked.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
My last things are trying to get Carmelo and Will Barton in some of the same lineups.
Oh.
Just because that's a weird price range that sort of works out okay for me.
Will Barton's going to be really, really low owned. That's going to be really good for you.
I'm telling you, that's a well. Like I said, Jokic and him. I like those competitive games. Somebody's going to have to do it for these guys. Hopefully, it's my guys.
Let's see. You want to see if we get some of these ownerships here? So
yeah.
So.
By the way, I've got 2 top 50 lineups going into the weekend in golf.
Oh, nice.
You know what's really gross? Want to hear? Can I tell you what one of them is? Can I read this off to you?
Yeah,
for the
sure.
listeners out there. I've got DeChambeau, who's in first.
Nice.
Hideki Matsuyama, who's in fourth. Rory, who's in sixth. Sebastian Munoz, who's in seventh. Van Ruyen, who's in second. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. That's what I've got.
That's awesome.
And then I've got some dude who's 10 over. And I'm still 38th out of 111,000 people.
Who's the 10 over guy?
94,000 people.
Who's the 10 over guy?
Ryo Ishikawa.
Yeah, I got 90% M. Lorenzo Vera.
Oh, yeah. I ended up with like 40% of Van Ruyen, and this guy is 6% owned and just crushing. So I have the 38 lineup and the 43rd lineup. My 43rd lineup has a lot better. Nobody's worse than +2, but it doesn't have the same combination of 1, 2, 4, 5, 7.
Okay, so how do we find the?
I have one, but it does have 1, 2. Wow, 1, 2, 6, 7, 7. That's pretty good.
So how do we find some ownerships here from this 222? Let's see.
All right, I'll find it there.
Well, how do you?
Well, I got a lot of money on the line tonight, so wish us luck here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Luka at 13% in the 2100.
Dude, I'm in first place in the 222. How about Colin Sexton 1.5%?
Yep.
And Kevin Porter Jr. 2.3%. And Bradley Beal 13%. Let's go. Let's put it on my
That's higher than most people thought he was going to be.
Whatever. I'll put. Look at this in my 222. No one's going to accuse me of being too chalky. I'll put this number up there. Come and get me.
Yeah, let's go. Why not?
And then I'll whip out and swap Trent Jr. to freaking Simons once I have a good score.
I think I looked at anybody else who stands out real quick ownership wise, because Beal 13, Garland less than 1%. Kevin Love 1.4%.
Oh shit!
On DraftKings. Okay, well, it's going to be good or bad for us. I have these guys all over the place. I have Shabazz Napier at 0.9%.
Oh, I forgot to play him. Okay, so
I do have Kevin Love in about. I think I have him in 5 of my 10 222s.
Well, who's the chalk? You want to see who? Oh, there's nobody from chalk in this game, right? Okay, that's right.
Well, and it's the second biggest total, isn't it? I think.
It's right or if not the biggest total.
No, third. The biggest is the other one, Portland. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate
Yeah.
you. Thank you, guys. Good luck, all.
And hopefully we'll have something to sweat later.
All right, guys. Love y'all. Thank you. Good night.